concussion's diagnosed, it's obvious that they're having issues. What are the things that they should be doing on those first 3 weeks? Well, actually, that's a broad question. If they come to you in your clinic, what are the things that you'll be doing with them in the first 3 weeks? And then if they're not in the Cincinnati area, what ought they to do?
We're going to do a pretty full neuro exam to try and figure out what regions are involved.
Hmm.
And it's often more than one thing. It might be vision and balance. It might be um, speech and memory. There are multiple things, and we work through the multiple things. And then, if you don't mind the expression, I end up with a menu of things that are either deficient or room for improvement. With a population, maybe that's the way the person was,
Hmm.
but there's something that we may need to work on. And then it becomes a team effort because maybe there's a speech related issue that I find. Well, again, my exam is only an hour and a half. That person might need a more advanced speech evaluation. Or if I
Hmm.
find something with hearing, then they might need an ENT thorough evaluation. So my exam is somewhat like a scout exam where I try to do a little bit on a lot of things, which means I don't do anything really well. Um, but it does point us in different directions. And then we get a bigger and bigger picture. And remember, I said earlier, it takes a village. So we have a village of psychologists, of speech therapists, of physical therapists, of athletic trainers, of balance specialists, of hearing specialists, um, endocrinologists for dysautonomia, cardiology, and then put together a picture of major deficiencies and figure out what to hit first and how to do that. And when I say hit, I mean try and make better, because I don't want to do everything that would overload the person.
Right.
So you could use the expression low hanging fruit, which isn't necessarily the best, but it's what we feel needs to get started right away. Say, for example, a person has a traumatic brain injury afterwards, and they have whiplash and an ocular motor deficiency. Okay, just say those two. Well, we actually have adopted a philosophy to treat the whiplash first most of the time because we want the neck to be a stable, reliable platform for the eyes and brain. Because if
Hmm.
you have I don't mean to be silly, but a bobblehead, well, the eyes and brain have to constantly make adjustments, and doing ocular motor rehab on an unstable platform is kind of silly. So we would prioritize that way. And now think about all the different regions of the brain. We will think about decisions of that ilk.
So it's if someone were to have a concussion, and regardless of the circumstance, what type of doctor should they go find immediately, right? Because like if they have post-concussion syndrome, it's been chronic, right? There's some things we'll talk about here in a minute, but like when Brittany was hit by a car, she went to the local chiropractor, and then she went to a nurse that was in the neighborhood and that she was friends with, and then it was like 4 months before she even saw a neurologist, and then she just kept bouncing back and forth from neurologist to neurologist. Is who do you go find? Because she found all the wrong doctors that didn't actually help her recover. We actually went through 24 different physicians before finding someone that could help her recover.
So a concussion is a mild traumatic brain injury. And just not go to concussion. They're more interested in more moderate and severe traumatic brain injury because that's where their training resides. A neurologist will often say, let's wait 3 or 4 weeks and be reactive and then see what we need to fix. And that is a philosophy, and you have to sort of live with it. That is still a current philosophy. It doesn't have to be one you agree with, but it is one. The type of people that tend to be better at the acute phase are neurotrained acute care people. So, in other words, a nurse practitioner that is a neurotrained nurse practitioner with acute care training, acute
Mhm.
care being, pretty soon after an injury. There are people like me that we're trying to build up that are helping work in the that first 3 weeks type of thing. Truthfully, those are getting to be more and more right now. Sports and um, sports PTs, sports ATs, and sports chiropractors,
Hmm.
because a lot of those athletes want to get better pretty quickly. They were fairly functional beforehand, and um, time is game time.
Hmm.
Down to game time. Um, but you are looking for somebody that works with a team with multiple disciplines. And no disrespect to somebody who has to work this way, but a person who is an island and can't say, oh, yeah, okay, there's a speech thing. I need to talk to the speech therapist or whatever else. I mean, I've got a whole cadre of people that I can refer to because, again, I can't do everything.
Right. So it seems like even before having a complete plan, right? Because I'm putting myself in this context without knowing anything about brains. 4 years ago, right? Brittany was hit by a car. I don't really know exactly who to go find and have her work with, but I should find a neuro trained acute trauma person
Mhm.
somewhere, and then just start treatment, right? Like whatever it is, so that she doesn't develop learned dysfunction within her brain.
Right.
Would that be the right move?
Yes. Yes, because you want to avoid the learned dysfunction, or maladaptive decision making is the other term. Yes, to someone who's neurotrained that has a philosophy of being proactive and comfortable in the acute setting. Mhm.
Okay, I'll have to, because I mean, finding someone like that may take some time, depending on where you live, and that's some effort. So that's something I'll have to do. I'll have to build a database of those different physicians in different regions of the country, so that people have easier access to that.
Sure, yeah, we can work on that together offline.
I'd love that. That'd be
Mhm.
great.